From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Local Point, brought to you by Strata Networks. I'm David Gale, filling in for Chris Piner today. We've got a great show. Joining me in the studio, we have Tonya Murray. You may know her from the Children's Justice Center. We've had her here a few times, but she's brought with her her special new friend who we've never met before. This, over here, is Wink. Oh, look, and see, she heard her name. I don't know if you saw that, but she perked right up. She was like, what, did you say something? Okay, so welcome, Tonya. Thank you for joining us once again on Local Point. We should probably let everybody know about the Children's Justice Center to start with, because in case you've never heard of the Children's Justice Center before, getting to the dog doesn't make any sense. So tell us a little bit about what the Children's Justice Center is, located right here in Vernal, Utah.
Right. The Children's Justice Center is basically the first stop when there's been some kind of abuse allegation. So someone has a concern that a child is unsafe, they report it to DCFS. If it's a physical abuse or sexual abuse case, usually it comes to the center. Law enforcement and DCFS coordinate the interview and start the investigation right there.
Now, a place for the kids to come and feel comfortable talking to a law enforcement officer, because heaven forbid they'd have to end up, at a police station or something. It makes it a little more comfortable for them. And you guys have done some really great things. You're a great asset to the community. A dog. My first thought is, well, that's really great, because I'm sure that kids probably have a natural connection to animals. What's the dog do?
Well, I think most of us have, a natural connection with animals, kids especially, and we all know that.
Yeah.
Wink is very special. She is very highly trained. She's actually trained to be a service dog. She's a facility dog graduate.
Okay.
So she comes to the center, goes in the interview rooms with the kids. So she gets to interact with the kids prior to the interview, which helps take their mind off why they're there. And then if they would like her in the room with them, she goes in the room with the child and the detective, and she lays at their feet just about like this, and they can reach down and pet her and talk to her and adds comfort while they're in there. And then, afterwards we'll go out and show them how she does her tricks, and just trying to make it a little more comfortable, lower the stress level for why they're there. And she's amazing. She's a natural.
Yeah, because my first thought was, well, you could get a dog and you could have any old dog that just shows up and sits on their laps or runs around and plays. But Wink, when you came in here, she was just right by your side. You said a couple things, and I don't know, did you have to go through some training to be able to work with the dog?
I did. I went to California for 2 weeks to be trained on how to work with her, how to keep her training top shape, how to add more commands, things like that.
Really?
So it was interesting. Really great process.
So besides just obviously going and wherever you tell her to go and sitting, what else can a service dog do?
Well, she can do just about anything. We make most of her commands look like tricks for kids. So she can pick things up and hand it to them. She can open doors. She can tug boxes. She can sit, lay down, hide under tables, whatever we want her to do. She can do a lot. She's got probably about 40 commands. And they're actually Canine Companions for Independence donated her to us. And
Really?
She's a trained service dog to help people in wheelchairs or help kids with autism, things like that. She actually graduated to help kids who've been abused. So she has
kind of like a degree and a specialty in what you guys need.
Exactly. And the thing that I love the most about her is that she has so much instinct. She can tell what people need, what the kids need. Each time she's gone in with the kids in the interviews, we've just kind of let her instincts take over, and she does something different with each kid.
Really?
Sits at their feet, sits at their side. It's almost as if intuitively she knows what they need and she provides it.
How old is she?
She's 2.
2? And for a dog at 2 years old, she's she's still kind of a puppy.
Yeah.
She's really young. Can we look at her? Well, she seems like she's so docile, but I'm sure that she's got all kinds of energy just bundled up here.
Wink, come here.
Oh, look at that. She was very excited.
Come here. Lap. Yeah.
Hey, Wink. Oh, such a nice dog you are. Now, have you ever had any kids who are afraid of dogs?
We haven't yet. If we do, we have a kennel. She stays in the kennel during those interviews. We don't try to do anything that's going to scare the kids. So yeah, but so far we've had people who, every one of them has wanted her. They've all liked having her in the room. We've actually had a few kids who decided they could go in that room without her, and she provided comfort to mom and dad while the child was in the room. It was awesome.
That's great.
So sometimes it's just instinct on what people need, and
there's something about labs, you know, and that's probably why that they were, you know, she was chosen as the breed that she is, although there's, you know, obviously probably other types of dogs. Because she was donated, I'm wondering, you didn't have like a choice in the dog? I mean, how did this all happen? Actually, you know what? That's a longer story. We're gonna get to that in the next segment. We've got about just 30 seconds here left. So just in 30 seconds, can you tell me how she's made a difference? I mean, has it been a big difference, or is it just kind of a convenience?
she has absolutely made a difference. She has lowered the level of stress. The entire environment, from staff to child abuse responders to the families and people that we serve. I mean, our entire environment of our center is reduced stress, less trauma on everybody.
Isn't that incredible what an animal can do?
Yeah, it's
Great.
amazing.
Okay, well, Wink, thanks for joining us. We're going to talk more to Tonya and to Wink once we get back from this message from our sponsor, Strata Networks. Stay right with us.
Strata Networks is proud to bring the first true 4G LTE network to the Uintah Basin. 4G LTE is the most powerful mobile broadband available anywhere in the world. With speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G, you can stay connected like never before. Video chat without delay, stream HD TV or movies in an instant, and download or upload in seconds. For details, visit us in Roosevelt or Vernal or call 622-5007. More speed, more power. 4G LTE, only from Strata Networks.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Local Point. I'm David Gale, once again in for Chris Piner. And joining me, if you didn't see the first segment, Tonya Murray with the Children's Justice Center, and the new service dog, Wink. Such a cute Labrador. What an awesome dog who can do all kinds of crazy stuff as far as, most importantly, taking care of kids and giving comfort to the kids who come to the Justice Center, or maybe even family members who come to the Justice Center. So, you know, before we get back to Wink, as we were during the break talking, we just recently had Trees for Charity, and maybe you don't know exact numbers or anything like that, but I know that some money had been raised for the Children's Justice Center. Do you know how that went?
I've heard that we did really well. I haven't heard an actual number, so.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We have a very generous community.
Yeah, we definitely do. And that leads me to another question, because I assumed when you brought the dog in before we started the show that possibly the Children's Justice Center had purchased the dog, but no, the dog has been donated. Remind me who donated it to you again?
Canine Companions for Independence. They're a California-based facility where they train and donate the dogs.
And how in the world did a facility in California, find out about a little Children's Justice Center in Vernal, Utah?
We got connected with them through the Courthouse Dogs program, and it took about a year's worth of application process and waiting time till they had a dog that they thought would work for our center. And they called me one day and said, we have a dog and we have a training in about 6 months. So I got to go to the training the end of October, 1st of November. And there were about 9 other people there who were candidates to get dogs. We worked with 12 different dogs, and by day 3 they assigned us a dog to work with the rest of the time, and that's who we brought home.
So did you have Wink and other dogs that you had been working with during those first 3 days?
Uh-huh.
And they start to get a feel for which ones work good with who. Did you have a favorite? I mean, was Wink,
no,
you just did whatever?
You know, they really tell us not to pick favorites at first, because it's kind of up to them, and they're the professionals, so we just trust them, and great fit.
Do you know how long they had to train Wink?
She has basically been in training since birth.
Her whole life.
They have a breeding program. They have puppy raisers who raise them in obedience from day 1. And then they get 6 to 9 months of advanced training in California.
Okay.
And so at 2 years old, she's very highly trained.
Yeah, and very obedient. I'd like to send my children to this.
I know.
I'm kidding. Kind of, but not really. We'll just leave it at that. So your training, you said it was for 2 weeks? Out in California? What part of California, just out of curiosity?
Oceanside.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It
Especially
was.
this time of year, to be near the ocean. So you went out to Oceanside, and what are some of the things that you had to learn?
Just all kinds of correcting poor behavior, teaching new tricks, maintaining what they had. So we had to learn all the commands that they've already taught them, how to teach them new commands, how to motivate them to do commands, and how to correct it. You know, just all kinds of stuff. Everything from keeping them healthy, you know, diet, exercise, everything. It was pretty intense. It was neat.
I have a friend who actually is a quadriplegic, and he has a service dog, and that's the first thing I noticed when we went over to his house is that he had a very specific amount of food that he was allowed to give the dog at each meal. And man, that dog just swallowed it up just that quick. But it keeps them, you know, fit and in shape and from getting overweight like most of us do, because we have a hard time, you know, with our portion control.
Well, and you know, we're really lucky because with Wink as the facility dog for the center, we are hoping to have her for 8 to 10 years in service.
Wow.
So it's really important that we keep her healthy, you know, physically, and then, you know, we take a break every now and then and throw ball for a minute just to give her an emotional, mental break, and you know, just try and do what we can to keep her on her A game so that she can provide service for the kids as long as possible.
And what does it take to keep her in tip-top form when it comes to remembering commands and doing those kinds of things? Is it simply just repetition of those commands? What do you?
Yeah, we work about 15 minutes a day with everything that she's already trained in. She knows all of the commands. It's just a quick reminder that yes, when I tell you to sit, I expect you to sit. Right. She really almost doesn't need it, but it's just to keep her sharp, just to keep her sharp. And then if we teach something new, then we take a little bit extra time, 15 extra minutes a day to teach something new or add commands together, and it's quite a process, but it's a lot of fun.
How have you seen the community react to the dog? Because I understand that you've been a few places besides just here at VTV.
You know, we have had an amazing response with our community. Everyone that I have talked to, we've introduced her to, and she remembers all of them. You know, we meet somebody once, and she remembers them again, and it's just, people love her already.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
How couldn't you? And I hate to do this to you, Wink, but do you think maybe I can get a handshake before
I bet we could.
we go out?
Here, come on.
Very, very quick to respond. So do I just put my hand out?
Yep, just put your hand down.
Put my paw out?
Yep, there you
go. Thank you. And I taste good too. That's probably the peanuts I had earlier. Good dog. Well, thank you, Tonya, for coming in and bringing this awesome addition to our community. We hope to see you around here again.
All right,
thank you very much. And hey, thank you all for joining us. Join us again right here on VTV Channel 6 for Local Point. Have a good day.